Hello everyone, and today what we'll be looking at is how we can get started with Google Colaboratory. So Google Colaboratory is an environment in which we'll be doing our Python programming, right? So all you have to do is go into the Google webpage and you can search in the search browser, Google Colab. All right, so once you've clicked on this, you have this first entry that appears which says, "Welcome to Colaboratory." You can click on this and you will see this is the Google Colaboratory interface. But what you have to do is to know that you have to log into your Google Mail account first. So Google Colaboratory is linked to the Google Suite. And what you have to do is log into your Gmail. And after that, you are able to access this page you can see over here. So when you enter the Google Colaboratory homepage, we want to create a new notebook. We're starting from scratch, from the basics on how to use this interface. We call it the IDE, right? The Integrated Development Environment. So you can click on New Notebook first. And just wait a minute for the notebook to load. All right, so you will see this window. So depending on how many notebooks you have created prior, it will show untitled. So you can name this my first notebook. So you can name the files over here. And let's note the extension of the file. So it's IPYNB. So this means it's a Python notebook extension. So you can just leave it as it is. And with that, now we can start understanding the interface. So let's start off from the top corner. Right? So over here, all your notebooks are saved into your Google Drive. And from here, right, there's the first file folder, which can help you to locate your notebook that you have created within your Google Drive. Okay, and over here we've created a new notebook. We can open notebooks and upload notebooks also. Okay, so right, what the next one we'll look at is how we can save and download the notebooks. So for example, if you want to save a notebook out and send it to somebody else, right, you have the download button and you can click on download as IPYNB or download as a Python file. Right, so let's get to the interface of the coding itself. So here we are going to look at the code as well as text functions. So if you hover over the word code, you can see that this is to insert code cell below. You can click on it and you see a new box appears below. So this is a code cell. Let's try text. Right, you can add text cell and it appears like this. So what we can do over here is we are creating a notebook or a Jupyter notebook, which is easy to read for humans and also for the computer or the machine to execute the codes they are writing accordingly. So let's take a look at the text cell first. So this is a text box. You can type hello inside here. And what we will look at is how we can move the cell up. So let's have the words appear all the way at the top. So we have the words on top and the cell coding below. All right, so over here, let's try this. Type hello. If you put a hex in front, it becomes capital. So you can type words over here to start your notebook. So you can put a title. So if you want to include a title, you can use the hex key and you can type hello. This is my first Python notebook on Google Colab. And then you can add emojis as well. Maybe you want to use a smiley. Yep, so let's have this over here. And you can click away from the cell and just click on the bottom code cell and you can see that this appears as a header. Right, so headers can be retracted and you form a neat cell over here. Right, so now let's take a look at how we can write the next line. So for example, I am going to print a line of code in the cell below. So let's try this together. So you can see that this will appear as a header, which is larger text, font size, and this will appear as a smaller, which is the text here. Again, we can bold it. We can use italics. We can even change it to a line of code. This is a line of code, right? To show it's for visually to visually show that this is a line of code instead of a text. So normally we'll do this. For example, we will be using the print function, and this is how you write it. And then what we'll do is we'll give a sample. So for example, print hello. Right? So the cell will appear like this, and it gives you clear instructions on how you can write the cell below. So what you do is you can copy this and type in the code box. So now we are moving on to the cell of code. Print hello. All right, so over here you can see in the lines of code that the words turn different colors. Right, so in the Python coding line, how Python helps us to visualize or know what variables or what we're typing, colors change accordingly, and each color has a certain meaning. So now I'm in dark mode on my Google Colaboratory, so the colors might vary based off in if you are in dark mode or you're in light mode. So maybe you can change it. So if you're in light mode, the colors will appear like this. And if to change to dark mode, you can click on the gear button over here and change it to dark mode. Right? So over here, we can see that we are typing the word print hello. So print is a keyword that appears in this shade of yellow, and hello appears in the shade of orange. So to run this cell, you can press the play button, and let's see how it goes. So we are typing an input in these cells, and we will get accordingly an output. So let's wait for the cell to run. You can see this button, yes, it's done. So when you see a tick at the corner, it means that the cell has been successfully run. Okay. So what we'll do now is we have given Python an input, and the output will appear accordingly below. Hello. So we'll change this to hello, hello. It'll appear here, hello, hello. So as you give an input to the cell, you get output in the bottom. All right, so now we have first printed our cells here, and we'll know that all changes are saved in Google Colaboratory, just like how you use Google Documents and Google Slides, right? It auto saves into the cloud. So similarly, there's a revision history that you can look at, which shows all the changes that you have made. So currently now we only have made one change, so there are not too many changed versions, right? So you can always revert to an older version by clicking on this column, right? And this will be the current version that we have now. So it saves out like this as a file for you. All right, so over here, what we can do is if you're interested to continue to edit your code, even if you refresh your browser, right, the changes are all auto-saved for you. All right. And you want to download it, you can press download. And you have downloaded your first Jupyter notebook. Okay, and similarly, what we can do now is to print another cell. So it runs in parallel. So you can print maybe hello world, and you run it. So we can get familiar with the interface by trying it a few times. You can add more lines of code and print other functions. So what we're doing is we're using this keyword called print, and it introduces you to what we can get as machine feedback. Right? So the machine can be doing something on the back end, but we want to know the status on how the machine has been running our code. So we are using this print function to see what is the machine doing with the different variables or the different lines that we want to show. All right, so this is the first portion where we're getting started and oriented with the Google Colaboratory environment. And in the next portions, we'll look at how we can write code, variables, and loops. For that, we'll see you. Bye.